I just want to go back.
Hey guys, so I'm going on to the gold chart and to the oil chart. I'm just going to clear up the psychological levels on both of these instruments. It's a little bit different, but it's quite straightforward. It's really straightforward on these pairs. So I did mention some of this in the old content, but I'm going to go through it again just to clarify a few things before the next video. So, 1 second. All right, now gold at the moment, simply put, the main psychological levels on gold are going to be 1300s, 1305, 1310, 1315, 1320. So it's every, as you can see here, 50 pips. 1310 to 1305 is 50 pips. 1310 to 1315, just modify that. Okay. Obviously it's off by like a pip or so. 50 pips. Okay. So 1310, 1315, 1320, and then we have 1325, which up there is a region. So if we just box off the regions and the zones, the 4 hourly right there, as you can see, psychological level on gold comes in nicely, whereas the price broke that level after messing around, tumbling. We retested, spiked through, got the liquidity, and I was actually in that trade. That was a huge fucking trade. I was actually in that trade at the closure of that candle right there, because that told me market broke through, came back up to collect orders. Orders were short. Back end of that, because I was watching this candle, and it's very volatile. So it's boom, closure. Next candle, bang, straight below the moving average. Stayed below the moving average for quite some time into the lower domain, which is right here. Right, so 1285, right there. 1285 psychological level as 1290 is, 1295, 1300. Look at the psychological level where the box region is also drawn on the chart. Look at that level and look at exactly what's happening. The consolidation, when we draw box regions, which is going to be the next video, as a taster, as a warm-up, the box regions and the consolidation within that region is simply the market collecting orders. Market has collected some orders right there at the base of 1285 at the psychological zone, and then I've boxed the area off, spike through, in the midst of all of this noise, bang, market makes its decision. Falls back. Where does it fall back into? 1290, short of 1290. Okay, I can't take credit for that one. But we boost up into 1310 region, spike, because as we're getting closer to it, the market, that more orders are coming out of the market now. So it's getting sloppy, it's getting weakened. Then bang, we have the shooting star candle, engulfs the previous, wick to the high, and then we have a drop off. Where does the drop off come into? We have 1395. 1395, wick through, and then boom, up and beyond. Okay, let's move that out of the way. Then we have the 1300 level, which has been a huge level for gold for quite some time now. We can clearly see the spike all the way over on the left hand side just there, and we also have the other spike where market was, again, this can happen guys, it can happen off the back end of news. You see some news come out, the market forces in one direction, everyone goes that direction, not knowing it's fulfilling a psychological level, and also it obviously helps if we know the bias of the market, and then bang, orders come through, take out highs, come into 1320, profit taking happens, market falls off. Then what happens? It falls off into what? 1305. Let's just put the marking on 1305. 1305 pulls back up. So think of the fucking merry-go-round of what is actually happening in the market if we look closely. Psychological level, building price, boom, nice little boost there. Take profit on that on the hourly time frame. This is what we're going to be getting into. Comes back into 1310, weakened the emotions of this market are starting to weaken out. Needs a little bit of a rest, goes to bed for a bit, bang, recharges for the morning, coming off 1295. Here, back off 1300, all the way to the upside, 1320. That move is fulfilled. So we had trick here. So let's look at this on the hourly. Boom, boom, boom. Oh my God, gold's melting. Picks up the order, leaves a spike, 1, 2. And as I've already explained, if you look at the body of the candle and the wick high, the next candle fulfills that wick high, and that there again can be an entry. If you know and you're confident of 1300, this is how you get the sniper entries. This is the official and the real sniper entries coming off the psychological levels, which we've always given to people around us. We've always taught people, whether it's our close friends or whatever, about the psychological levels, the spikes into it, and so on. This is the original. This is where you get the original entries. This is where Ashra FX on the intraday perspective, this is where we've been originating the sniper entries from, as you can see, as I'm explaining, and as you will see as we get through videos, how to collect the original sniper entries. From the psychological levels, the market dipping into the regions, spiking through it, the secondary candle giving us a spike, but thirdly, the third candle closes above this previous candle's wick high, tells us the momentum is now shifting. But we can get in the sniper entry mode, the official sniper entry mode, at the psychological levels. As you can see there up high, we have the 1320. Market gets tired, a little bit drained. Profit taking has started to occur now. Bang, come back in to fulfill the liquidity off these other spikes, and then the market melts. Where does it melt to? 1305, psychological level number 6, which I've gone over. Again, sniper entry style. Where's it going to hold to? We can maybe take out 1315, back to 1320, maybe back up to 13. I would call this region 1325. So we can get many of these sniper entries once we have the proficiency on the charts, and also once we have the confidence going forward, which you guys will have by the end of the updated Ashra FX material and mine and Nat's guidance. You will be catching the sniper entries like no tomorrow. Second to that, if you look at the daily momentum and the daily time frames, what we have here is, look at this price build up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. But we had 1, 2, 3, 4 days when we came into this. Profit taking from the sellers is now occurring. We are now mixing with a mixed bias, but we know where we're at, 1285. Came all the way back to the upside, consolidation, wick to the downside, and now we're about to power back up. Where does the top spike lead? Where does the top spike lie? So we have 1346 there, but again, we can't take this as an entire zone. The entire zone from top to bottom of the candlestick, wick to the candle body, 1340 to 1345. We have this entire region from here to here, psychological level, psychological level. The market can be attracted into that. The market can be attracted into that, guys. So that's gold in a nutshell. I hope that made some sense. If you look again on the 4 hourly, we broke above, spiked to it, and now we're lifting off. All we really need here on gold, I'll go into the box ranges afterwards, but all we really need in gold is momentum to lift above. The momentum on this 4 hour needs to close back above 1, 2 perhaps, and that tells us the market is now picked up the orders and it is going full steam ahead. Going over to oil. If we go over to oil, okay, cool. Going over to oil, what we can now see is a similar scenario. Right, so oil is the same as gold. 50s, right here, 55, 60. So it's, again, every 5. 50, 55, 60, 65. It's a bit harder on oil, I'm not going to lie, but you know, I'm kind of still new to the oil side of things. I have done trades on oil. I can't tell you I'm a profitable oil trader overall because I'm probably 60-40 when it comes down to percentages, but I am going to be working more oil with you guys going forward. Sometimes I place trades, I'll log them, and then I'll simply just forget to come back to this market because I'm tied up with the other currencies, but I will be implementing more oil going forward. If we look here at 55, okay, we've already got our regions drawn on, but 55 we had a nice spike into. That can also build confluence to what I talked about on the previous video. 50s, not much going on at the 50 level, to be honest. If we look here, we have supportive price action on the 50 level, and then we break through it, nothing special. I can't say anything unique is really going on there. But if we look at the 60 there as well, we've come off that nice and sharp. 60 level held very, 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 very well, and that can also give us confidence that, okay, we are pulling back, we're losing momentum, momentum's folding back into this region, and we can potentially come to the upside. Upside over there, I want to keep this video quite short and sweet. We do have the region which we're drawn on. I think that was the weekly, am I right? We have the weekly over there, and it leads us up into the 65 handle. I'm losing my voice. Leads us into the 65 handle, so again that can give us confidence of a rebound up into that region to actually go in and take some profits from. Another thing I'll just like to point out too is the back end of these shooting star candles are quite significant. The wicks, especially in the bear market, in the bear territory, I would stick with just these. We can actually go and highlight these zones as key potential areas, because from the old content and some of the old videos, I did like to express to people that the shooting star formation holds a lot of value, and it is very, very well respected when it comes down to the probability of the market now moving south. Why? Because wick, what it shows us is that there's so many orders coming into the market, trying to gather, and then it just melts. So what we can do, we can also be mindful of tying up the back end of the candlesticks, bringing it across to actually give us more confidence and confluence building up. So what can happen here, because orders are being taken here, orders are being taken here, and here, we can expect maybe the market to run into these levels and rebound back to the upside, back to the downside, sorry. But I'll get into that later on, don't want to confuse anybody for now. But that right there, guys, is how you would lay out the psychological levels on gold and oil. I'll be referring that throughout and later on, but I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it cleared a few things up. Again, go back through all of this, take some notes, and go and do some back testing yourself.
I just want to go